Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the next part of your school. In this part, we will be focusing on the inside and the outside. However, to follow this tutorial along, I just want to make sure that you have already made the school building. If you haven't, that's okay. You are simply just one video ahead. Follow part 1 along, which you will be able to find in the description below. Once you have made part 1, you have the school building ready, as you can see behind me. Once you have that made, you are ready to move on to this part. And if you have done that already, you guys are in the right place. Here are all of the materials that we will need to make the inside and the remaining part of the outside of our school. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. So, step 1, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to walk into our school. You'll notice that number 1, it is rather dark in here. There's actually something that I can do about that. So, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to place our floor. The floor is going to be made 100% at this moment in time out of oak planks. And we are going to place it literally just directly onto the ground. We want to be able to walk through the doors on the front and back of the school, and we want to literally be stood on the ground level. So we're literally just filling in between all of the andesite layer that we have at the base of our school. Now, once we have completed the floor, we will be making the ceiling. The ceiling we are also going to use oak planks for. It's literally going to be parallel, the exact same, and we are going to leave a gap of 3 between the floor and the ceiling. So, if you literally just fill in above the window line for the school, then that is where the ceiling is placed. Now that we have a good foundation to build from, we can now build individual rooms. So the first half of the school is rather easy, as all we have to do is add 2 walls. And this is basically an extension of the wall that we have at the front of the build. If you literally just extend rows of terracotta left and right of the center point, the entrance of the school, and then add a little doorway that will allow you to get in and out of the now classrooms. We can even stick an oak door on these. Then that is how we have planned out just 2 simple classrooms. There's only 2 classrooms for the school. One on the left, one on the right. The next thing that we're going to do is make the rooms on the back of the school. Now this is a tad trickier, but still rather easy. If we come to the back entrance of the school and we leave a gap of 1, so directly next to this window, we want to place an L-shaped or right angle of terracotta that extends from that point on the back of the school and joins to the window that we have on the side of the school. And this is going to help us divide the school up into 2 additional rooms. So once we have done that on the left, we want to do that on the right. And not only have we, well, it seems as though that this window is ever so slightly misplaced on this side, which is unfortunate, but it's completely fine, as we can just destroy it and we can just shift that an extra row over. I clearly miscounted somewhere. Well, once we have placed all of our terracotta to divide the school up, you will notice that the school is naturally divided into hallways as well. We also want to create entrances into these 2 rooms as well, and we can place our oak doors here. And if you did want to, if you didn't care about having a cafeteria and a library, then you could literally just mirror the front of the building as well. But so far, we have our classrooms, hallways, cafeteria, and library. And now that we have done that, we are going to add some additional details to this hallway. So, first of all, I would prefer it if the hallway had, if the hallway had kind of like a strip of carpet running down the middle of it, and I'm going to be using red terracotta for this. So obviously it's not real carpet, you know, it is just red terracotta, but it has the same effect, and it just runs straight down the center of this hall, like straight through the middle, like left to right. Now, what's also important about this area as well is that this is where we are going to have lockers. So the lockers I'm going to place against this wall here on the end of the hall, and I'm just going to have grey shulker, light grey shulker, grey shulker, and then light grey shulker like this. And then I'm going to just stack these so that they are 2 rows high, like so. And I'll place a lantern and a flower pot on them. And I want the same thing on the opposite side of the hall as well. So like a grey shulker, light grey, grey, light grey. I'm trying to have the opposite of what we have here. And we can just stack these up and add a lantern, hopefully in a different place. So we'll just change it on this side and like a flower pot with an oak sapling. It's just for a little bit of decoration. Now that we've done that on this side, we can come all the way over to the opposite side and we can do the same thing here. So we can have like a grey, light grey, grey, light grey. Then on this side as well, we can have grey, light grey, grey, light grey, grey. So once again, just keeping things opposite because it's just a little bit more visually appealing in my opinion. So we'll place that here. I know we place them on both ends here as well, and we can chuck oak saplings in there, and it just looks a little bit better. So that's looking pretty good in my opinion, this hallway. And not only that, we can also use the same decoration for the hallway here as well. So it's kind of up to you, like, do you want to say like have lockers running up the entire side of this particular part of the school, or would you like it just kind of in the center, or would you like them more towards the back entrance of the school? It's kind of up to you. I am choosing to place lockers on both sides, but I am making them 2 rows away from both ends of the wall. So that's kind of like how I'm devising this, but you feel free to do the same thing. And I do quite like to just have the carpet span the left and right sides of the build. I don't want it leading towards the back. I don't know why, but I just don't. But feel free to, like, if you did want to, you know, shake it up a little bit by leading the carpet to the back. But for some reason, I do not know why, I don't like it. I would prefer to just leave it as is. So now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to work on the classrooms. So both classrooms are identical to each other. So once you've done one, you'll easily be able to do the other. So in this room, first of all, I'm going to hang a lantern above the door to give a little bit of light. I also have to dig into the wall. So I'm going to dig into the wall next to the door, leaving a gap of 1 from the top, and I'm going to place black concrete here. So this is going to look like a chalkboard. I want a chair in front of this in the form of a spruce stair, and a desk in front of that I want to use spruce planks opposite the chalkboard in front of the chair, and I want to place spruce trapdoors flipped up on the left and right to look like a desk. I'm going to place a flower pot on the left side here, birch trapdoor to look like either a mug of coffee or whatever you might imagine it to be. Plenty of things it could be in a school, and also a trapdoor kind of looks like a flip down laptop, specifically a birch one, a birch laptop. And then on the wall here, I'm going to place a 2x3 area of bookshelves, leave a gap of 1 from the top, 2 bookshelves on this wall, spruce trapdoors underneath. On this back wall here as well, we are going to place 2 spruce trapdoors, and I'm going to place a flower pot on one, lantern on the other, and I'm just going to place a sapling inside of the pot. On this wall here, I just want to have paintings, so it is kind of up to you, like what sort of paintings you want yourself, but just some little 1x1s look pretty good to me. And then all we have to do to kind of like fill this in, this is such a minor detail, ladies and gentlemen, but a stone button just in front of the desk here to make it look like a drawer handle or something similar. But all of the desks are made very, very easily and quickly by placing spruce stairs just along the inside of the window here with scaffolding in front. And then it's up to you. You can either leave a gap and then we'll be closer to the teacher's desk and we'll kind of connect to the teacher's desk, which it may or may not be preferable to you, or we place the desks like this, so just directly backing onto each other. So that's my preference, but you feel free to change it if you do like. And there we go. If you did want to add some additional light, you could do it in the ceiling, or you could add some torches, or you could sneakily add lanterns here and there. But I quite like it being a little bit gloomy in here because, you know, that's kind of how I felt. I didn't really want to be in a classroom, so gloomy might be the perfect word for it. But of course you can decorate these with pots, and you could put item frames and books and stuff. Although you can't place item frames on these, you could have trapdoors as laptops, but you guys get the idea. So once we have done this once, we want to go ahead and come over to the opposite side of the school, and we want to do literally the exact same thing. There we go. Perfect. So now that we have both of the classrooms done, and do remember, feel free to turn the other two rooms into a classroom if you like, the next room that we are going to work on is the library. So it literally doesn't matter which of these two rooms you pick. I don't know why, I just want my library in the back right corner of the school, and this is how we are going to start it off. So, in the library, we need to have a bunch of books. I'm going to start off in the corner of this room, so this is as we enter, it's the front left-hand corner of the room, sort of a front right-hand. You guys get the idea. It's closest to the hallway, all the way at the end. And we want to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4... should do, a row of 4 books extending from this wall. We could even make it 5, although I don't know if that would be too big. So we'll start with 4. And the books want to extend from the ground all the way to the ceiling. We're going to leave a gap of 2, and then we are going to have the same thing. So we want to have a few shelves of books. Leaving a gap of 1 here, we want to create a table. So we're going to use a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 spruce planks, add another row in front, and on this table, against this wall, we are going to place a backwards facing quartz stair, leave a gap, quartz stair. In the stairs, we're going to place paintings, and in front of those, stone pressure plates with stone buttons on the left side of the pressure plates. You could also do the right, it makes sense. So this is supposed to be a keyboard, kind of. You could also use rails. There's nothing that really 100% emulates a keyboard, and the button is supposed to look like a mouse, and of course we have the monitors as well, but it would more than likely be that the mouse will be on the right side, but hey, I guess we've got a bunch of left-handed people in this school. It's a school specifically for the left-handed. And in front of this, we just want to stack some chairs directly opposite the screens like this. And on this wall here, we can place some paintings. So we want these divided somewhat evenly. So if we place just spruce planks in the middle here, then I'm looking for a couple of 1x2. That's actually perfect. Why don't we have a bit of symmetry here? Nice, lovely. And we can have some lanterns hang from these, and there we go. That's absolutely perfect. Balanced, as all things should be. And all we have to do now is just make some desks as well. So the desks, I'm going to make the first one here 1 row away from the wall, a couple of spruce planks extending from the window area, leaving a gap of 2, 2 more spruce planks, gap of 2, 2 more spruce planks. So I'm going to add chairs to these, so this is just going to be oak stairs, and then for every single table, and bear in mind, unless you've used, you know, a command to make it light in here, then it will be rather dark, so you're going to want to grab lanterns and item frames and books, and we are going to place item frames in front of the chairs with books in, and then we'll place lanterns on the remaining area so that it keeps this place relatively nice and bright. And that's the library, nice and simple, / study area. It's a couple of different things really. So now let's come into the opposite half of the school and let's make possibly the most important room, the cafeteria. So first of all, in this room, we are going to place a bunch of seats, and we're going to start in the corner here. So a couple of smooth quartz stairs, end rods, with then smooth quartz stairs on the opposite side. We then, on the back of this, want to place end rods with smooth quartz stairs. So that's kind of how the seating setup is going to go. We want to use stone pressure plates. Aren't actually a bad idea, but grey carpet would also work. I kind of like the stone pressure plates actually. And we'll leave a gap of 1 or 2. Maybe we'll leave a gap of 1, and then we'll have, yeah, because you'll have a bit more room to maneuver. We'll leave a gap of 1, and then we want to have literally the exact same thing. So leave a gap of 1, and then pretty much just copy exactly what you've made. Now, the next thing that we have to do is make where you would actually get the food. So we are going to start this area. We're going to leave a gap of 1 between this seat, and from this wall, we're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white concrete extending from the wall, and then a row of 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete behind the last 3 blocks of the white concrete. Place some glass pane like this. And we might even add like an extra block here actually. So let's just leave like a little gap here, or maybe we can even extend it this way. That might be a little bit better because this feels a little bit better this way. So this is a little bit more open up. So we are 2 rows away from the wall, and we have a row of 4, of which we're going to place item frames on 3 of those blocks, and then the other one will be a cake. But across the back of this wall, we are going to place white concrete, and we're going to just leave a gap of 2 here on the right, and we can chuck a lantern somewhere along here just to make it just to add a little bit of light to the situation. We also have to add a place to actually get like lunch trays, so we can place these here, just like a couple of white concretes with item frames on top, kind of look like lunch trays, and we'll place a cauldron next to it to look like a bin. And we don't have, I mean, we can use spruce for this, but oak trapdoors, in my opinion, look a little bit better for the tops of bins. It's very specific though. And we can even add a couple of posters in here as well, in the form of paintings, of course. So this could be like, I mean, kind of like whatever you want, really. But, you know, we could just add a couple of posters, kind of like this. The clicking of the pressure plates are upsetting me. But, you know, just a couple of posters on the wall. It just makes it look a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter. And then, basically, just for where we would actually get the food, we just need food, and I'm realizing it's in the chest. This is where you've been hiding. So, we will need to refer back to the chest. We actually need a mix of all of the materials in here, really. But let's just grab like these last 3 rows, as these are the primary materials, and we'll just have to either grab things individually or what have you. But let's head back into the cafeteria now that we've grabbed a bunch more stuff. And the first thing that we're going to do is basically just fill these item frames in with food, so like steak, cooked chicken, carrots, and cake. And that just looks pretty good in my opinion. It's just like a nice little mishmash of stuff. On this back wall, we have just like furnaces kind of just stacked up here to make it look as though something's being cooked. Brewing stand with just some flower pots, so you know, some sort of drink and some cups so that you can actually, you know, drink stuff out of them. And I'm starting to think that maybe on the end here we could place a couple of like smooth quartz slabs. Does that make sense? That looks kind of good, right? I think. And there's really not too much more to the cafeteria. It's a very, very simple room, but incredibly salient if you ask me. And now that we have completed this, we can actually head outside. And I think that we will work on the back of the school before we work on the front of the school, because there is a little bit more detail to be done. So, on the back of the school, the first thing that we will do is add a little bit of greenery. Well, first brownery. So I'm going to dig just directly off of the back of the school, left and right of the andesite steps, I'm going to place a layer of podzol. And once that podzol has been placed, I'm then going to place flowering azalea leaves below the windows. And in between the azalea leaves, I'm going to place azure bluets. And I'm going to do this on both sides. And this will be present on the front of the school as well. And it just looks nice. It accentuates and it doesn't really take too much attention off of the actual school building itself. Now, once that's been made, we want to have a row of cyan terracotta dug and placed in front of what we have just made. And we're just going to make the outline for this. We'll fill this in a little bit later on. But we want to have a row of cyan terracotta. And then on the left and right sides, we are going to dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to place cyan terracotta in here. And I'm going to dig across and join it to the opposite side where we have the cyan terracotta. So I'm making essentially, this is all a roundabout way of saying that we're making a very large cyan terracotta rectangle, just like this. And once we've done that, the next thing we want to do is we want to place a row of white concrete inside of this on the left side, and the white concrete wants to extend on the ends to the right by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It'll actually line up with the azalea leaf. So if you want to kind of like line it up instead of actually counting, then you could do that. Perfect. So the next thing that we're going to do is make a small basketball hoop. This is going to be made in the center of the left side of our square. So we're going to place 1, 2, I think just 2 actually, black stone wall on top of each other, red terracotta on top, smooth quartz block on the left and right sides, smooth quartz slab along the top, and then in front of the top black wall, cobweb, and then all we need is oak sign to go all the way around it. And that's all we have to do to make the very, very simple hoop. And of course, if you wanted to, then we can have any sort of block to kind of represent a basketball. Orange shulker box is one of my favorites along with the pumpkin, but you know, you guys can get inventive. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to make a soccer goal or football goal. You know, it doesn't really matter what you call it, to be honest, but smooth quartz slabs, smooth quartz stairs, and cobwebs are made for this. So this is made opposite the basketball hoop, and we're going to place a web on the outer perimeter of our cyan terracotta, place web left and right, and then smooth quartz stairs opposite the web, smooth quartz block in front of the stair, smooth quartz stairs on top of the block, and then cobweb in between. So that will end up looking like this. Now, footballs are rather tricky, and they come in more colours, really. Obviously, basketballs also come in different colours, but you know, kind of recognisable is like, I imagine, a white soccer ball with black on it, and obviously for a basketball, orange with some black lines. So it's up to you how you would kind of want to represent these balls and what have you, but you know, I'm using shulker boxes, and they're kind of placed at kind of like in similar places, so maybe I'll just place it like here just so that it's not the same. So all we have to do now to kind of like complete the schoolyard is grab spruce stairs, spruce fence, and spruce trap doors. So leaving a gap of 1 between the, or rather we'll leave a gap of 2 between the end of the basketball court here. So 1, 2, and then we want to place spruce stair, spruce fence, spruce stair on the opposite side, spruce trap door. Extend everything 1 row inwards. And there we have a picnic table / lunch table just outside. And then we'll leave a gap of 2, and then we'll make the exact same thing. And then that is all we'll have in terms of tables. It's a very small school, so it makes sense that we wouldn't have too much. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. It looks pretty good out here now, doesn't it? Or at least I think it does, in my opinion. And in doing that, we have actually done pretty much all of the hard stuff, ladies and gentlemen. All that is left to do is a bit of landscaping. So now we are going to do a little bit of landscaping. On the front of the school, in no particular order except for how it was done, we want to add 2 rows of podzol on the inside of the entranceway of the school. 1 row of pods all in front of the actual school building as well. We're going to decorate that with flowering azalea and azure bluettes. We want to add a couple of rows of smooth stone at the front of the school. This just spans the width of it. This is going to be the pavement. Not only that, we want to add a border perimeter to the school. This is going to be made using oak leaves. We also need to add a sort of courtyard, but this also kind of works as kind of just like a pathway into the school. This is made using cyan terracotta. We also have to fill in the areas on the back of the school that need filling in. So for instance, the basketball court and also the soccer pitch, that's just going to be filled in with cyan terracotta also. We also then want to remove all of the actual natural grass. We want to replace the grass using lime terracotta, just because I think it looks a little bit cleaner, and also add oak trees in each one of the 4 corners of the school. And that's it. That is the entire outside and the inside of the school complete. There is but one thing left, which will have its own separate tutorial. So that is part 2 of the tutorial complete, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel and click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. But more importantly, check out the description below. If you haven't made part 3 yet, which is going to be the school bus, then you're going to want to move straight onto that if you haven't already. Or maybe not, you could make your own school bus, but I'd recommend checking out mine. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.